Okay, so we're being serenaded by Mr. Conrad Pollack right here, out of course, Cruising with a Case Handler. My name is David Annakie, your broadcaster. And of course, want to say super pleasant good morning, reaching out to each and everyone tuning in right here out of course, 93.5 WVIP FM. Hopefully all is well with each and everyone. Let's do a roll call. Adam Handler, how are you doing today, man?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'd like to say hello to all those listening on 93.5 FM, Facebook, other social media platforms, and in particular, one very special lady, Mrs. Case Handler. Happy anniversary. Sweet 16, 10/30/2004, and I love you, babe.
Well, you better say that or you'll be in so much trouble, man. And of course, you said it's what is it, an anniversary?
It's my wedding anniversary today, 16 years.
16 years. Look at you all growing up.
I know.
It's a beautiful thing.
Do you remember that time we were all out at the bar and you and our friend Kafil wanted Stacy and I to renew our vows?
Yes.
And you were my best man.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that. That's great. Well, congratulations to both of you, man.
That's good stuff, man. All good.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that's Adam Handler, our, of course, attorney here as I fix this crazy thing here on my phone. All right. And Adam, why don't you do the introductions?
Absolutely. My name is Adam Handler. I'm a partner of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. I head up the personal injury department here at the firm, and they call me the Case Handler. This is a show we do daily to make sure that you folks out there know that there's attorneys that care, attorneys that want to help, attorneys that are more than capable of helping and are ready to give back to the community that has embraced us for so many years. This show is called Cruising with the Case Handler because we have a lot of people heading in and out of work in the morning, and it's a show just letting you know exactly what we do and how we do it. My partner, Conrad Pollack, who is the architect of this wonderful firm, has been practicing immigration law for nearly 37 years. We call him the maestro. He's on the show today. We have Nelson the Maverick Madrid, a partner of the immigration department, a man that certainly flies by his own rules and will help you legalizing your status here in the United States, or if, God forbid, you're facing deportation proceedings. He is the Maverick you want in your corner. And also today it's been a while, but we're happy to have him, our associate Yee in the immigration department. I would say that if there's a really hard case that comes to our firm, Yee winds up getting it. That's just the way it happens because he is one of the smartest guys I know and an excellent immigration attorney. So I'm sure he's got some good
Are you trying to call a guy a brainiac? Is that what you're doing? Adam, are you calling
a guy a brainiac? He is a brainiac. We don't have a nickname. I don't know if we ever came up with a nickname for him, but he's like the scientist. He's like he'll just like work it out, figure it through. Figure it all out and come out with the perfect solution. So maybe that's something we'll have to work on the name, or he could pick something himself. But the point is, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for you. We're answering your immigration questions for 100% free. All you got to do is call our number and book that phone consultation, and you'll be connected to an attorney. Yee and Conrad and Nelson have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these phone consultations since the pandemic hit, and we're happy to continue to do so and give back to that community that's embraced us. So let me give out that phone number real quick, and then I'll ask Squeeze a very, very important question. The phone number here is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844-PPID law. PPID stands for our firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. And I'm down with PPID. I know Nelson is down with PPID. Conrad, certainly, my God, his name is in that twice. He's got two P's in PPID. He's down with PPID. Yee's down with PPID. He's probably also saying, what the hell is he talking about? But Squeeze, from the wonderful island of Jamaica, I am sending this question out to you across the Caribbean Sea, my friend, while you're holed up at the Iberostar.
Yeah.
Are you down with PPID?
Come on, you know me. No matter where I am, I'm down with PPID.
You're like, what's his name? Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide.
Of course, Mr. Worldwide. Now, it's very important that everybody gets down with PPID, a very powerful law firm located in New York City, in, of course, Peekskill and Brooklyn. And I'm saying this to each and everyone that's tuning into 93.5 WVIP FM and everyone that's watching us on Facebook. We do appreciate you, but we want to make sure that you're getting solid, excellent, good attorneys, no matter what your legal concern and or issue may be. You deserve to have a solid attorney working with you, working for you. And that's what these attorneys have done, from the Yees to the Nelson Madrids to the Conrad Pollack, and obviously the man who was speaking just a minute ago, Adam Handler, your case handler, also known as the Shark by me. And of course, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful Friday. And we're about to jump right into it in speaking on personal injury and immigration. So let's get right into it. Let's start with some immigration update news. Gentlemen, anything you want to let me know as to what's going on with immigration, what's going on with the current administration before we switch it over to personal injury and get a true success story? Nelson, Conrad, Yee?
Yee, go ahead.
Go ahead, Yee.
Nothing I have right now.
Hearings for non-detained cases, I believe, are postponed. What is it, through November 13th?
That's correct, yes.
Right. So that means if you are presently in removal proceedings and are on the non-detained docket, that is, you are scheduled to appear either at 26 Federal Plaza, 290 Broadway in the state of New York, your hearing will be rescheduled. And that is for people who have hearings through and including November 13th. So if you have an upcoming hearing through that date or on that date, your hearing will be rescheduled. Again, and I think we've mentioned this before, there is no plan in place for reopening. So it's unclear at this time when the non-detained docket will reopen. The detained docket, however, that is 201 Varick Street in New York City, is open. They are hearing cases and there are judges, and those cases are moving along.
Immigration team, I got a question for you because this had come up with a personal injury client that came to my office the other day. Nelson, I came into your office and asked this question, but I think it's important to discuss. So I had a client come in and he was with his girlfriend, and she's from Trinidad, and she has a visitor's visa. But her visitor's visa, the 6 months that she has to leave the country, was back in June. And I said, did you apply for an extension? She said, no. I'm like, well, what are you still doing here? She's like, well, because of the pandemic, I couldn't fly home. She didn't do anything about it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are in similar situations. That's a big problem, I'm assuming, correct? I mean, for those on those visas where, you have that, well, first of all, visas are what, 10-year visas, or are they different amounts of time?
Usually 10-year visas.
Usually, okay, so she had a 10-year visa, but she can only come here for 6 months at a clip. Is that the way it works?
Yes.
Okay, so she now has overstayed that visa, and she's overstayed now at this point almost 5 months. So what advice would you give to those people? I mean, the pandemic really did affect some of this travel. Flights were canceled and things like that, and people may have not known what to do to apply for extensions like that. What advice would you give to those people that have overstayed visas because they couldn't travel because of the pandemic?
Well, there is something called a satisfactory departure for certain individuals if they're unable to leave the United States because of COVID-19. But you would have to apply with Customs and Border Protection for that.
So you actually had to do something, correct? Yeah. I mean, you can't just wait for the travel restrictions to lift and then make your move, right, Nelson?
Yes.
That is correct. And what would happen, Yee, if you overstayed your visa by 6 months?
If you overstay your visa by 6 months and then leave the United States afterwards, you're going to be barred from ever re-entering for a period of 3 years.
And what happens if you overstay for a year or more?
Bigger bar. Now you have a 10-year bar from re-entering the United States.
Okay.
No, but in some situations like that, again, if you were unable to leave the country for some pandemic-related reason, COVID-related reason, you could apply to try to extend your status nunc pro tunc, to date it backwards. So if you've been out of status, if your visa expired a couple of months ago, and you were in the hospital, or you couldn't get a plane out, or whatever it is, and you can prove it, you could go to immigration and try to get that extension, after the fact. Not easy to do, but easier these days than it has been in the past. I mean, in the past, pre-COVID, impossible. But these days, maybe. I mean,
But
depending on how long you've been out of status. I mean, if your visa expired a year ago, forget it. But if your visa expired 2 months ago, it's worth a shot.
right, but
Okay.
keep in mind also, I mean, there are people traveling. So to simply blame COVID,
You need proof.
right? I
You need
mean,
proof.
obviously, you have to look at the time period. And again, people now are presently traveling. So if
Okay,
you're
but Nelson, let's say the person actually caught COVID and was in the hospital, was on a
Good
I-
point.
was on a
Respirator,
ventilator, and they
right.
could prove it. That would be a legitimate reason.
that is
That would be worth a shot.
That is correct. But again, what I'm trying to say is keep in mind, you can't stay here for, 2 years and say, well, COVID,
That's right.
I mean, or you can't, you couldn't have overstayed from November of last year, right? Before
That's right.
COVID really became an issue and say, well,
No,
I
I
haven't
said
traveled.
I said 2 months, 3 months. Not 3 years.
Right.
You know?
But I just, I think it's important to get that out there because I have spoken to some people that have called and they said, well, I've been unable to travel since February. COVID didn't really become a problem until March, mid-March,
Right.
late March. So these are things you have to keep in mind.
Wow. I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and I'm saying, and I'm quite sure the people on the outside listening to the radio station and watching us on Facebook are saying, these guys are very good. I'm listening to the banter between, the Yee and the Nelson and the Conrad. And if anyone didn't know before, they now know how experienced you guys are. I mean, if I didn't know better, I would think each of you have been around for 100 years. But, you guys are very good at what you do. And this is the reason why people should actually choose the law firm PPID when it comes to their legal matters, especially immigration and personal injury. So Nelson, Conrad, thank you so much for expounding on that. And Adam, thanks for bringing up that example. All right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, it's just something that came in, but that's the benefit of our firm. One of many benefits as being a full service law firm. Somebody comes in with an immigration question, I can ask a lawyer right away. Somebody comes in with a personal injury question, Nelson runs over to me and says, hey, listen, a client's sister just got hit by a bus. Is there something you can do to help? We are truly a team here at Pollack, Isaac DeSico, and that's our approach. I mean, everybody has their own practice areas, but we really do work as a team, and we provide a level of service that I don't think any other law firm in New York City is capable of doing. And that's why we are so successful. And that's why, we're just blessed with a wonderful client base that's extremely loyal. And those of you listening right now who are maybe hearing us for the first time, hopefully you're getting a sense of who we are and how we're doing things. I personally am a third generation attorney. I actually showed this book last week on the show. My mother had pulled this out, one of my grandfather's law books from St. John's University, 1933. My family's been practicing law in the city of New York for nearly a century, right? And that's not by accident. You got to be on your game. You got to be on point if you're going to make it 100 years, especially in this city. Conrad is a second generation attorney. His father started the firm, 60 years ago. And that's just who we are. And if that's important to you and you want to put your family and your family, if you want to put your family and yourself in the best possible position for the most favorable outcome, whether it's an injury case, immigration case, criminal case, matrimonial case, real estate case, you'll have our number saved, 844-774-3529, 774-3529, or just Google PPID or the case handler, and you'll be connected to what we do here.
Got you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, as he said, the number is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. I need 30 seconds here, gentlemen. I want everybody who is listening to the radio, get on Facebook and follow the page for PPID, the case handler, and yours truly, David Squeeze Annakie. However, more importantly, the ones who are actually watching Facebook right now, please, I beg of you, can you share with 20 of your friends right now? Just share the link that you're watching with 20 of your friends if you care about them and want them to have the knowledge that, of course, these great attorneys are about to give. And also, of course, give them a very good law firm, and that's PPID. Once again, just click the link on the lower part of your page and just share on your friends' timelines or in groups, join some groups and share. Once again, Cruising with a Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration. Let's jump to a quick question, and then we'll come back to Adam in under 2 minutes. Immigration question. A friend of mine is involved with someone in Jamaica. However, the person's documents are currently before immigration authorities in the United States of America. His mom is currently filing for her son, who is married, along with her daughters and grandchildren. But the son was intending on getting a divorce from his wife and possibly marrying someone else. So he wanted to know how this would affect the filing process rather. He also wants to know if there is any way to fix it without affecting the current process. The filing has been in progress for the last 5 to 6 years, and all the persons are over 18 years old. I'm wondering what advice you would give in this situation before we get to Adam.
We're talking mother filing for a married U.S. citizen mother filing for a married son, correct?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, divorce would be quicker for the process.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
there you go.
marrying would end up slowing the process down.
Yeah, basically the way it works is U.S. citizen applying for an adult son or daughter who's married, that's considered a third preference case. If the adult son or daughter gets divorced, that becomes a first preference case. First preference cases move a little faster than third preference cases. Also, if that son divorced and then married again, he could do that and include his new wife in his case. Again, it'll be a third preference. It'll take a little longer. Typically, a case like that take about 10 years, but he could do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, 844-774-3529. That's the number for the law firm, 844-774-3529. We're speaking on immigration. Let's flip it over to personal injury, and then we come back to quite a few questions that I have for the attorneys on immigration. But let's hear what this $125 million man, has done for his clients. Let's find out if he has ever helped anyone who lives here in Jamaica, that got hurt in the United States. I wonder if that has ever happened. Let's hear one of his true success stories. Well, Adam Handler.
It has happened, Squeeze, and I'll tell you why. I've been practicing law for 17 years. I would say 15 plus of those years, I've been serving almost exclusively the Caribbean community. So I've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have either migrated from the islands or are family of individuals that have migrated from the islands. And just this case right here where I pulled up is just another example of that. Let's do it right now. This is Lawrence. He was an Uber driver that was in an accident with a FedEx vehicle. Talk about a recipe for disaster, because both of those vehicles generally drive crazy. If you're ever in New York City, those delivery vehicles are zipping around, the Ubers are zipping around. But in this particular case, Lawrence was not responsible for the accident. We'll talk about the case, and look at a young case handler and a young Matt Goodstein right there. That's even before we had the big checks. We were just holding up the actual check that he was going to bring to the bank. And if you could read that quote for me, Squeeze, I'd be very appreciative.
I'm looking at a dollar figure here, man. Wow. Anyway,
get your mind off the dollars.
The best attorney in New York City. I never had any issues. If I had to leave a message, they always call me back very promptly. Adam, scroll up for me, Adam, so I can see that. Yeah. Adam is a good guy. My experience was really really great. Lawrence C. from Wappingers Falls, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. $485,000 in the settlement. See, you got some audio there. What's up with the audio? Is that audio from it?
Yeah, there is. Let's see if we can play that. Hold on.
Mr. Adam Handler,
Oh, it's our friend.
I'm okay.
Let's see if we can. Hold on.
Now tell us.
I'm a real fan. I'm talking to you, but I'm a real fan.
Wow. Well, let me say this, man. If you listen to my program, you're not a fan. What we call everyone that listens to my program is.
So that was back in the day when the Ira Jam guys were having me on, and we did a great interview. In fact, we had a mediation.
Which at the time, you could have played the whole thing, but it's 9 minutes long.
Yeah, I can't play that. We can play it all. We can play it on Facebook. We had the mediation in this case, which is basically a settlement conference at the same time as my show. So I'm on with Roy doing my show, and at the same time, the judge is in the next room trying to settle this case. And
really,
what did you say?
I said, really?
It was unbelievable. It was like virtual reality. We were talking about, it's like this show right here, Cruising with the Case Handler, that I do every day with Squeeze at 9:30. It's imagine that I was in court doing this show. Back in, now before the pandemic, that would have happened. I would have been in court around this time, and we would have, been negotiating a case, but also on the phone. And this was a very, very serious accident. He was hit by a FedEx vehicle, which pushed him into another vehicle. He wound up having a surgery to his shoulder, and $485,000 in his pocket. Tax-free, of course. You do not pay taxes on personal injury money here in the state of New York. So happy to share that story. Even happier to hear that interview. Those were good times. And the message is very clear, Squeeze, and that's the most important thing. That, ladies and gentlemen, I've been endorsed on this radio station for 15 plus years. The majority of that time has been with Squeeze. The other times have been with DJs later on in the day. And I really, really, really know that everybody out there is counting on me. And I say the same thing to you, Squeeze, as I say to everybody else. I won't let you down. I know that people that listen to this show right now know the wonderful things that you've done for the community since 1996, 1995?
Yep. 1996.
And if you're listening to this show right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're not listening unless you truly believe in Squeeze and the message he has and the power and conviction and compassion he has towards this community. And that's why our firm is on. That's why he pushed us to do this show. That's why he pushed us to give free phone consultations, right?
Yep.
He has never, ever been able to convince an attorney to work for free. And he finally was able to do it for us. We will give those phone consultations over the phone. We'll make it happen for you. We'll make it happen for your family. But please, ladies and gentlemen, I can't stress it enough. Unless you have our number, you will not be able to speak to us. We won't know you're out there. We won't know you need our help. Personal injury, immigration, whatever it is. You got a legal problem, we got a legal solution. You got a legal question, what do we got, Squeeze?
You got the answer.
We got the answer.
So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, before we get to the top of the hour, all right, please, we ask of you, if you would like to get a free phone consultation with one of the attorneys, all you need to do is dial this number and schedule that free phone consultation with one of them. Are you all ready? Free. But I need for you to call now to get that. They're getting very busy. All right. The number is 844-774-3529. Immigration, personal injury. When you get hurt in that accident, you only need one man because you've got one chance, one choice. And he is your case handler, Adam Handler. And of course, for immigration, you've got the Maverick, Nelson Madrid. You've got the Yee, the scientist. You've got Conrad Pollack, the maestro. We've given everybody nicknames, all right? Call the firm, 844-774-3529. Make us proud right now by dialing the number. Everybody, please. Let it ring 10, 15 seconds. Let Adam pick up the phone and say, hey, good morning. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. All right, let's jump back to immigration right now, guys. Before we get to the top of the hour, we got a couple of minutes here. This one says here, let's jump right into it. What if a Jamaican came to the United States just to have a child in the United States, and the father is back in Jamaica, can the mom add the father's name to the birth certificate at the time of the birth? Will that be a problem to the mother legally in any way, shape, or form? Can she lose her visa if she decides to travel in the future?
Well, I think the father has to be present in the United States to sign the birth certificate, right? Otherwise, Conrad Pollack would have 500 children in New York. You know? So, so I don't think without
pretty
the father,
funny.
I think I just woke everybody up, right?
You did. You really did.
I know there is no foundation to that allegation, none whatsoever.
You know, again, the father, without the father being physically present in the United States, I don't think the wife can just simply add his name because he has to sign his name on the birth certificate, acknowledging paternity.
Got you. That was a good one. 844-774-3529. Everybody out there now is like smiling.
Conrad's eyes open wide. You have to see his eyes. He's like, what?
Oh man, he's about to call the family law attorney right now in the other department. Anyway, folks, all right, the number, and yes, they do family law also, the firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. The number is 844-774-3529. Once again, as you can see, they're extremely knowledgeable about immigration. Make the link, make the call, make the connection, make it PPID. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome. However, they are a phenomenal law firm.
Yes, but Squeeze, before you go further, Yee, why don't you talk about, wasn't there a recent regulation in the past year that had to do specifically with that situation, that you can't come to the United States if you're about to have a child? Remember that?
Let me give out the number before we get to the top of the hour. I got 15 seconds here. And then I will have Yee continue on Facebook page, PPID, the case handler, or David Squeeze Annakie. People, switch over to Facebook, join us on Facebook, and continue watching and listening to us. The number for the firm is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. Have yourself an amazing Friday. We continue on Facebook. All right, Yee, you can respond.
Well, now if you're pregnant, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get a U.S. visa in order to come to the United States. That's the issue here.
Oh, really? So if you're pregnant, you can't get a visa?
Well, if you're pregnant, it's going to be really, really difficult to get that visa.
Right, but let me ask you.
This was another one of those thoughtful Trump administration policies that have been created over the past year or so, where they think, the Trump administration thinks that every immigrant out there that's about to give birth, they want to come to the United States to have their child in the United States so they can get free health care. That's the Trump administration's thinking on the subject. So they made it a point to basically say, and they were put into the regulations, that if you are pregnant, it is presumed in the law that you're coming to the United States to give birth here, and you've got to prove otherwise.
Right, but when you get a visa, that visa is valid, I thought we said, for 10 years, right?
Well, it depends on the country. It depends on the reciprocity of the country. It could be 5 years, could be 10 years.
That's right. So during
5 years.
So during that 5-year period, if you get pregnant, you still have the visa. You're gonna come in, you're gonna have the child, right? Because you don't have to, you're no longer applying.
But that's true. That's right. You have the visa, it's valid for 5 years. In the third year of validity, you can come in with that visa. But you show up at the airport at Newark International and you're 8 months pregnant, about to pop any minute, they could turn you away. They could turn you away. They could send you back home.
That's interesting.
Even with that visa.
Yeah, okay. When you have that visa and they turn you away because they think you're going to give birth in the United States, they could cancel that visa. And then you can't come anymore because that visa has been canceled. So even if the visa would have been valid, you know, they think you're coming, birth tourism will not be a legitimate touristic purpose under the law, and they could turn you away and cancel your visa.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the immigration attorney is turning it up. 844-774-3529. If you'd like to get that free phone consultation, schedule one with one of the attorneys now. 844-774-3529. Quickly, Conrad, I'm quite sure you'll expand quickly on this one. Marsha on Facebook here says, what about the immigration ban that goes up until the 31st of December? Is that going to continue or not?
Good morning, Marsha. Is it going to continue? Well, the better question is who's going to win the election next week, because that will determine the answer to your question. If the orange man gets reelected, the answer is yes, that ban is going to continue. Look, right now it's good to the end of December. He gets reelected, I can pretty much assure you, especially with the pandemic, the exacerbating and becoming worse by the day, I can pretty much assure you that it's going to continue. That's the one. You listen to Trump's stump speeches. Say that 3 times fast. He doesn't talk about the pandemic. It's COVID, COVID, COVID. That's all the media talks about. But he gets reelected, and it's December 31st. I assure you that he's going to say, "Oh, this pandemic is out of control. We have to extend the ban to keep everybody out." That he will admit that it's a real thing. All right. But until that time, and unless he can use it against immigrants, it doesn't exist in his mind. But the short answer is, again, Marcia, if Biden wins, that ban will hopefully go away. I mean, again, now with the pandemic, the crisis getting worse, France just shut down, Germany is shut down. We may end up in another shutdown as well. And if that's the case, maybe they prolong the ban. I don't know. But by the law, right now, it's good to the end of December. Trump gets reelected, it's definitely going to continue. Biden gets elected, hopefully not.
Got you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Cruising with a Case Handler, show on personal injury and immigration law. Now, final question, gentlemen. All right. And then I'll ask Adam to take us out and take us home for now. All right. This one is a very long one, so heads up. All right. Immigration question. When I was about 13, the lady who raised me was migrating and wanted to adopt me so that she could file for me. My birth mother was not in agreement with it, so the filing was stopped. Her filing came through a few years later, and she migrated in 2005. She got her citizenship about 4 years ago. In 2016, I applied for a visa that was denied. One of the questions asked in an interview was, "Have you ever been filed for before?" To which I answered, "No." They then asked about her husband, who it turns out she was going to file for at that time too. I was not aware about the attempted filing back in 2003. I was only made aware of when I went home and was relaying the questions asked. I want to try again for a US visa now that I'm fully aware of what happened in 2003, but I don't know how to explain it to the consular during the interview. I want to make it right since it was not a lie. I just honestly had no idea until after the fact that I was ever filed for. Outside of that, I traveled twice on the summer work program in 2010 and 2011. I did not overstay, and they did look in my passport and confirm the same.
Well, look, here's the deal with regard to adoption. In order for an adopted child to be sponsored by a parent, an adoptive parent, the adoption has to be completed before the 16th birthday, plus there has to be 2 years custody, 2 years residence with the parent. Sounds like she was never adopted. The adoption was never completed, and it doesn't sound like it was completed if it was prior to her 16th birthday. Therefore, there was no case there. Now, I don't know whether an I-130 visa petition was filed on her behalf. If an I-130 was filed, she wasn't eligible, and if it was denied, it was rightfully denied. But if the question that she's asking is, did I ever apply for a green card? The answer would be yes, she did apply, although she was a child at the time. She knew nothing about it, but it was done by her attempted adoptive mother, who never became her adoptive mother. So that petition really, it was null and void from the get-go. But when they asked that question at the consulate, it's a question regarding intent. And basically her intent was, if a child can have that intent, which is another question, but her intent was to immigrate to the United States on a permanent basis. I would argue that she was 5 years old or 10 years old at the time. She had no idea, she had no intent, and therefore she didn't lie for sure, which she didn't. That they won't claim misrepresentation. They just might deny her based on the fact that she's an intending immigrant. Right. You can't get a tourist visa if you're an intending immigrant.
See, just I want to just jump in right quick and add to what Conrad just said. This is a perfect example. I agree with Conrad. I don't think the issue was whether or not she had previously applied for a visa. I think the real issue is how old was this person at the time they were actually adopted. That to me is probably the key here, because I think the other, whether or not they previously applied for a visa, I think you can get around. I think, again, if the person was, as Conrad said, 17 years old by the time the adoption was completed, it doesn't matter. They're just not eligible for a visa. They can't, although they were adopted after the age of 16 and therefore are ineligible. But people, without knowing the law, assume that this was the sole basis, or this has to be the basis for the denial, and that's not necessarily the case. That's not correct. In a situation like this, one of the things I would like to do is I would like to get a copy of the file from immigration. And then obviously, one of the things I tell people is, this is like a puzzle, and I have to put the pieces together before I can determine, what the real reason was for the denial.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know from her story whether or not the adoption was ever completed or not. But besides that, my concern right now would be whether she has immigrant intent. It's going to be up to her to demonstrate she does not have immigrant intent. And the way you do that is by showing you have contacts to your country, the reasons to return. So she's applying for a tourist visa. She basically wants to say to the consul, look, I just want a tourist visa. I'm just going for a couple of months. I hear there's a new roller coaster at Disney World in Florida. I'm a roller coaster aficionado, and I want to check out the new roller coaster or something like that. Or I want to go to a wedding or a bar mitzvah or whatever. But she's got to demonstrate that she doesn't have immigrant intent, that she has family back home, close family. She has a job waiting for her. She has money in the bank. She has, property, maybe not as many pieces of property as Squeeze does, but that she has a house back in Jamaica and, and everybody's there and she has reasons to return. So that's the key here, I think, when she applies for the visa. All the other stuff, I don't think is going to be relevant.
There you go. That's the reason why I'm staying at a hotel here,
I'd like to chime in one more thing on that. This is kind of a tangent regarding the adoption process. Okay, so first of all, we get this question a lot on some of the consults. People do want to know if they can adopt children located abroad. Jamaica isn't what they call a Hague Convention country, which means that if you're going to adopt someone, they have to be an orphan. What does that mean? It means they have to have both parents have deserted, abandoned them, or have died, or there's a sole parent who can't care for the child and has relinquished custody. The 2-year rule isn't exactly hard and fast, though. The 2-year rule of having to live with the child for 2 years, that only applies if you're a lawful permanent resident trying to adopt someone. If you're a U.S. citizen trying to adopt someone, there's a different requirement. It's not for 2 years of custody. You have to have a state agency come to your home, interview you, do what they call a home study, make sure you're going to be a good parent to the child, and that has to be completed before any adoption. So you don't actually have to live with the child for 2 years, but you do have to have the home study completed by a state agency.
Got you. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, now we know why we call him the scientist. That's Yi, one of the top immigration attorneys at the firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Yi, thank you so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure having you back, and we're looking forward to having you again with your knowledge, your scientific expansion on cases such as this. We do appreciate you, man. All right. With that said, we're going to turn it over to Adam Handler to take us home this wonderful Friday morning. All right, or conclude our great show, Cruising with the Case Handler, show on personal injury and immigration. Adam Handler?
Yeah, it's been a great week, a big week next week. So everybody make sure that you're ready to do what you got to do and exercise your civic rights and responsibilities in voting on Tuesday. I do want to remind everybody that we had a very special guest planned for today's show. That we're moving now to Monday's show. There was some technical difficulties in the beginning of the broadcast, but ladies and gentlemen listening on, actually you're not on 93.5 FM right now, but you're on Facebook. We really want people to tune in on Monday to hear
are you sure, guys? Story. Hold up. Are you sure y'all don't want to do it on Wednesday, when we have everybody tuning in for Conrad's expansion on what he has to say about the election, and we have
Yep.
such a huge audience,
Probably
everybody
not
will
a
be
bad-
listening that time. That'll be turned. So I think we should have the guest on Wednesday when we have massive audience tuning in for The Voice.
I'll let the production team. I'll let you guys handle that. But that may not be a bad idea. Oh my God, Wednesday morning show. That is
It's going to be huge.
That's going to be quite the show. We may need to start early on Wednesday. That may need to be
we should. Let's do that.
Yeah, I think that may be a 9 a.m.er or a 9:15.
Listen, Wednesday, I may not be on. Like I said, I may be hungover from Tuesday's results. Okay. Either way, I may be hungover by Tuesday's results. Just putting it out there.
You're either drinking in celebration or drinking your sorrows away.
Absolutely.
One way or the other. It's going to be a great show, though. I'm looking forward for that show. I've been thinking about it, saying that is going to be a mega super show. And ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking about our show that we'll be doing on a Wednesday morning, somewhere around 9 a.m., 9:50. I know we have got to get it started early. All right. And that is the day after the election. I want you all to tune in, mark it on your calendar, set it on your phone there, tune in for a mega show Wednesday morning. And we'll see if we can have our guests plural on that day. Maybe, you never know. Conrad could reach out and speak to whomever the new potential president may be or current, to have them on the show. You never know. But thank you all so much once again for tuning in to Cruising with a Case Handler, show on personal injury and immigration. We're looking forward to speaking with you again. The number is 844-774-3529. Any final words, Adam? Conrad? Nelson?
No, just enjoy your trip down there, Squeeze. I saw that post about you showed your room. I've never seen dual head outdoor showers on a balcony before. Squeeze is in a penthouse right now, and there's a shower with two shower heads on the patio on the porch. That's very, very nice. Good, nice.
The Iberia Star,
classy. I like it.
My friend runs the Iberia Stars down here, and
I know. Conrad and I are going to join you in January, right after the New Year's. We're coming down.
Absolutely. He recently got engaged, so I want to say congratulations to him. Hence the reason why I'm here for his engagement dinner. Absolutely. Nelson, you want to come down too, man? You're welcome to.
I mean, being that I wasn't invited by the case handler, I think I'm going to invite myself.
I'm inviting you, man.
All right.
No, you don't understand, Nelson. Nelson, you and I are going down not in January. You didn't let me finish. We're going down in December. Right, oh. we got to lay the foundation first.
Listen, Nelson, you better ask permission right now. If it's going to be 2 months away, you better ask now.
Listen. I told Conrad this might be like the Hangover when Nelson just gets lost and everybody's looking for me.
You better ask permission of the spouse today if you want to go in 2 months.
Yeah, you better ask your wife right now, guys. Let me show you a little bit about beautiful Jamaica before we sign off in 10 seconds here. All right. With the door. Take a look at that view.
Oh wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Show him. Oh, that's beautiful. Show him that shower. Show him that shower.
Oh, he's got a tub out there too on the balcony.
This guy's got the master penthouse right there.
Oh, he lost. It looks like he lost connection.
Apparently the Wi-Fi is not great. Yeah, see that shower right there?
Yeah, you see that, right?
Shower looking in the mountains. Nice. Unbelievable. What a beautiful country. What a beautiful country that is.
Very nice.
Guys, thanks a lot. Okay, for the show. Great show. Let's do this all again on Monday morning at 9:30.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Whatever you're saying, I agree with.
Go out and vote. It's extremely important that you go out and vote. I can't say it enough. Very, very, very important. Do go out and vote. Extremely exercise your right and vote. That said, we end the show. We conclude. Thank you all so much, gentlemen, for being here. And we'll catch up again on Monday. But tune in tomorrow, also on 93.5 FM and Sunday for us, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thanks. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.